All right, hi everybody. Right, welcome to this edition of the Mastering Mentors YouTube series, where I've actually got my own clients, right, to be interviewed today, and I think her story is pretty amazing, right? I think even how she was able to find me and what I do, but that's a story for later. But I think what she does is she used to be an employee, right? She transited to another job actually, right? She did very well over there. I asked her to share it later. And then recently, of course, she quit a job, right, to run her own business, right? And so it's going to be an amazing, hopefully inspirational journey. And I'll share with you, and she'll share with you hopefully a little bit about how she was able to convert, right, 5 figures worth of deals, right, USD, right, in a very short period of time. So I think it's going to be exciting interview. So Joey, right, welcome to this show. And before we begin, you want to share a little bit about yourself, what you do, right, before we begin the rest of today's interview.
Hey, hi, Marc. Thanks for inviting me in this interview. So, a bit of what I do. Before the COVID, I was in education, like more on the motivational side, like sales training, public speaking. So, it's the kind of whereby the trainer will stand on stage and then will train like hundreds to thousands of people. Then, after the MCO kick in, that company sort of like cannot sustain, and I managed to get another job, which is online based. And what interests me is we work on internally, like people's emotion, people's thought, not so much on the motivational side, but more on understanding like who you are and how to reprogram your subconscious mind. And then fast forward, I finally got the license from my previous founder, my founder, and then they allow me to come out and work on my own, which is also in subconscious programming.
Nice, yeah. So, and one thing that amazed me when I first started speaking with you, right, is that people would pay like good amounts of money, right, for personal transformation, right, talking about self-awareness, right, personal rewiring, right, like I said, doing subconscious mind. And one thing that amazed me was like, wow, people are paying up to 30,000 USD programs, and this wasn't a business program per se, right? These were people who were employees, right, salespeople, right, your everyday folks, right, putting in that amount of money, right, into transformation. So yeah, I guess the question is, you share a little bit about what do you think are some of the most common reasons people would finally decide to put in a huge amount of investment, right, just to transform their life, right, on something that's very intangible and not very what we like to call ROI driven?
Okay, so this is a very good question. Like, outside there's a lot of teacher teaching like different courses from investment to property to a lot of things, which is like skill set based training that helps you to generate more sales and more ROI and things like that. But there's also cases whereby after you learn all these things, you go for all the courses, you can't seem to work it out. You can't seem to have the confidence to use it. You still have self-doubt. What if I'm not good enough yet? I just graduated. Or you have fear. What if I use this, it's not good enough? What if I fail? A lot of doubts comes in, but all this is internal, like your internal thoughts, how you talk to yourself, and then the emotion, maybe past rejections or trauma, incident memory, all of this pile up and also will affect you, whether would you take action. So here, right, we focus on the internal side of the person. We first have to start by who you are. If I take out the label that you're the CEO of the company or director or manager, if I take away all this kind of labeling from the society, right, back to where you are, then who you really are. Even the name given to you is just a label. Then where you come from, where you are now, and where you are going. So we believe that once you have clear definition of your self-identity, right, no matter what field you branch into it, you have the confidence to just be yourself and then just perform.
Right. So I think what I'm hearing is a lot of like identity based, right? So it's a lot of internal for sure, but as it encompasses, right, your identity, I think that's where you can really be powerful, do what you want. And I think what you mentioned, I think speak of environment. So I'm just curious about, obviously when you joined that first company to the recent one that you just left from, right? The environment must have switched, right? In terms of the people you hang out with, right? Where you what were the things they're talking about, the culture of the company. Maybe you share like how was your experience, right? Adjusting from a company, okay, right? We do a bit of training, right? Motivational, to a company that I think from what we know, right, has very high standards, right? Great amount of commitments and of course results, right? Let's share like how was your experience like switching from one company to another at that point of time.
Okay, so previously when I worked in the before MCO, that kind of company, we always conduct courses like monthly or weekly or bi-weekly, different courses, from small courses to big courses. After the trainer finish talking on stage, that's about it, where the course ends. So there's no more follow-up whether does this person get it, or during course, some people fall asleep in course. They don't listen to the full 10-hour course. Some people, they will go out, do something, and then they come back again. So it's not like fully focused, but what differentiate the subconscious pre-programming is it's one-on-one. So even you want to fall asleep or even if you want to run away, you cannot because the instructor is just in front of you. And when you want to fall asleep, it's a kind of subconscious reprogramming as well, whereby resistance, you don't want to see it. And then your coach will instantly help you to overcome it. So if there's any fear, any self-doubt, or any procrastination issues, it would trigger your result, like your current reality, that you didn't get what you want. So from there, the coach helps you to eliminate it or handle it immediately. So it's based on what issues you're currently facing right now. Because our client base is very broad, from like as young as 7 years old to as senior as like 70 years old, all of them want different things. So when all of them come to us, right, they want different results. When kids come, they just want to focus on their studies. They want to be happy, healthy, more expression to the family, mother and parents. But let's say if like you're 30s, you want to career driven, how can you do better? And then senior is like more leadership. And even like as 70 years old, 60 years old, how can I be a good mother-in-law, grandmother, that kind of thing? How my emotions won't be affected, or I won't affect my emotions towards my grandchildren, that kind of thing. So it's very taking back ownership of your thoughts, of your emotions, so you don't affect the people around you.
Yeah, I think what I like also here is there are a lot of like group programs, right? Like we've heard around the industry, right? But I think the one differentiating thing about you guys is all one-to-one, right? It's very personal, right? It's very personalized and it's very intense, right? Over a few days, right? That's all in, right? To you as well. Yeah, so I guess the other question is I'm sure you went through the program, right, before you decided to join. So you can share maybe a bit of your own transformation, right? Like before the program, how were you like, right? And what's some of the biggest lessons you learned, right? And of course, after that, like how are you, right? Do you feel you're different as compared to before joining the program?
Okay, so before joining the subconscious reprogramming program, I was already like, I know who is Tony Robbins, what is like those mind coaching, NLP, motivational speakers. I know the importance of that. So I also been through that before. And I also joined the hype, the jumping, clapping hands, you feel good. And then at the end of the day, you also have some results. But somehow it doesn't last. Like maybe after 1 month, I feel, oh, I have that self-doubt again, or I have that fear again. So when this kind of emotion arise, how can I handle it on my own? Then I have to go to another course again. But here the difference is you learn technique. It's not like a course per se, but a lot of different techniques. Let's say if I have this negative thinking bugging me like a cassette player, how can I delete this negative thought? If I have a flow of sudden sadness, anger, how can I remove it from my system safely, or how I release it safely? Let's say if I have some relationship issues, how I handle it. So we train our students to master all these kind of techniques. So in their daily life, they know how to cope with challenges and problems on their own. So let's say I want to do this target, this sales, but I'm not feeling motivated. How can I handle that? I want to procrastinate. I'm feeling lazy. How can I handle that?
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is, okay, like obviously you also attend like Tony Robbins, those programs, but the results or the impact isn't as permanent as we would like, right? Or at least doesn't go as deep, right? Because again, it's very broad. But with that experience for you, right, whether is it like I said, limiting beliefs, anger, sadness, emotions that might not be serving you, you are now able to be more effectively able to address it or overcome it, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feels like
sorry. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Like during the course in the training, when the teacher talked for like 10 hours, I can't really get the full 10 hours, right? I only get like maybe the stuff that relates to me. So I think you also asked me like, what is the changes when I joined the subconscious reprogramming? The one that has a huge impact on me is I found out the root cause of my fear. So the root cause of my fear happened the day when I was born. And this is like mind-blowing, out of my expectation. I didn't know it happened on that day when I was born. The seed was planted. And that create a lot of fear.
Just like something happened.
Uncontrolled fear.
Something
Yes.
happened that you went to
During childbirth. Yes.
Yeah, because you wouldn't even know, right? So somehow the program managed to get you to realize that it was something that happened on that very day where you're born, right?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
You get to remember things that you don't know. You thought it doesn't exist, or you thought it's not there, but it's there. You just fully experience and recall it again, and then you handle it, and then it's okay already.
Yeah, so I guess the other thing, I think we talk about this separately, right? Some people are like, wow, this sounds very woo-woo lah, Joey, right? You sure real or not, right? And stuff. So what would your response to be like for some of these people who might be a bit skeptical or afraid of like, wow, you're telling me that I can look at the areas of my life where I thought of the day I was born, right? Or like some spiritual stuff. So what would your response to some folks that might feel that it's a bit woo-woo, too spiritual for them, right? Because I'm sure there's some people that probably have experienced those self-doubts and skepticism, but they still join the program. Can you share a bit of your experience or your responses to this sort of potential comments about what y'all do?
Yes, it's because we are trained that way in the society to use our logical mind to learn things like from primary, secondary, tertiary. But actually, as a human being, right, we are more than just that. We are more than just what we learn in school. There are certain natural instinct, right, that you already know exist, but you are not trained to use it. Like animal, right, like babies when, like maybe kittens when they're born, right, they know where to find the mother. Just like that. So you also have your own natural human instincts, your own consciousness, which is much stronger and more profound that we can use, like we can't really explain it, but it's there. So how can we tap into what you already have, but you never use it before, or you don't know how to access it, or you even forgot that you have this kind of skill. So with that, right, it's actually beyond language one, beyond logical mind one, but you already know. So we will bring you to the state to find it, you know this is real one.
Yeah. So is it based on like practices that have been proven to work, just that it's not too much in like, let's say, the media and stuff? Like where are some of this? I guess people might be wondering, like, where are some of these practices derived from, right? Is it based on like timeless studies, right? But just curious, I think for some people might be like where did the founder, right, or where did some of these strategies come from, right, in the first place?
I think our founder, they travel, they travel around the world with their own family, and they also attended a lot of courses. And of course, they also naturally inclined with certain techniques, certain abilities that they have. So how they can transmit these abilities that they have and teach it to other people. So more people will know how to use this technique. It's actually just learning how to feel yourself. It's not like a very like wow superpower technique.
Yeah.
Yes, but we recently use a lot of our mind and brain and logical thinking. So we forgot how to feel ourselves. So when we suddenly feel like emotion, sadness, right, we'll be very resistant and even feel afraid. Like, how come I feel so much of emotion? I don't know how to handle this. And then when you start to learn how to feel yourself, as it is, nothing more, nothing less, you also can start to feel like your surrounding, like your family, your kids, your partner, and to the extent your pets. So we have a lot of students, right? They can understand what their pets is telling them.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing is like the modern version of like being Zen, right? And again, everybody thinks being Zen is an ideal, right? It's something just to see the movies. But I think after talking to you and a lot of people that have worked with, I'm like, yeah, I can see it, I can experience it. So I think that's great to know. So I guess the last question on this, because I know I'm probing a lot, right, into what you guys do, right? Okay. So on the other hand, some people are like, hey, Joey, does it mean is it why people pay 30K for, right? Does it mean that once I go through a program, right, I will immediately be shifted, right? My being, my identity, my habits, I will stop procrastinating anything more in my life, right? Doesn't mean that everything will be all well and good as long as I go through the program.
We cannot say all because you have to know what you want. So this is the first criteria, what you want. Some people come here because they want to focus on relationship. Some people, they come here, they focus on money, their money blockage, why I cannot make money. Some people is like their own personal development, their own emotion. They just want to understand themselves, or some just for spiritual enlightenment. Based on what you want, we will target that area and we will solve it during class. And those that are not solved during class, you learn the technique, you continue to practice on your own in your daily life.
Yeah, so does it mean that there's some level of like semi-permanent, right, transformation that happens? But obviously it depends on what do you want to focus on in the first place, right?
Yes.
If there are other areas, okay, right? Then there might be some follow-up support, right? And coaching again, right? To visit, right? And then get better from there.
Yes.
Okay, nice, right? Sounds good. So, yeah, with that, it sounds pretty interesting. But I'm going to move on to the next segment, right, of this interview, which is okay. So, before, right, you joined MI, I think you were pushing out for sales, right, the business development, right, for the company. Like, what were some of your challenges and struggles, right, that you had before you decided to work with us, right, in the first place?
So for us, right, our course is a one-time thing. So after you learn the skills and things like that, you're good on your own already. So it's not like a therapy session where you come by every month or every year or something like that. So I constantly have to meet new people and then meet the people who needs our services and our what we are teaching and sharing. So there will be a time that I need more ideas on, like where can I find this kind of people? How can I put myself in front to reach out to more people that is in the right need and the right age group? Yeah. So that's how I come into MI.
Yeah,
I
you wanna
decided to
share-
expand more.
yeah, you want to share a story how you actually found MI, found myself, right? And what what was the decision? How did you even make the decision of joining in the first place?
Okay. So at that time, I remember we just completed our 14-day program. That's like a very, very strong program. And of course, there's a very big shift. You have to face certain things, do certain homework and things like that. And I had a very strong signal that, oh, I need someone help in marketing. Because I'm not like a marketing person and then I don't do social media and things like that. So I need someone. So I know my needs. Now it's like who should I find? And then but I always trust that the person who that is right for me will show up in front of me. So with that, right, sometimes I just start scrolling social media and things like that. You just scroll aimlessly, right? And then I saw someone share about like that time I don't know who is Marc lah. So I saw like someone is sharing, oh, there's a notes like Date with Destiny, right? Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny notes.
Business Mastery, Date with Destiny. Oh, okay.
Something like that. So I followed that link and I click and then I stumble upon Marc's page, your page. And then I just try my luck. I see people comment there, they want the note, right? So I just like comment and just try. I also want the note. And then I look through like how you position yourself. And then I start to read like your posts in Facebook, what you do and what you write. Then it's like, oh yeah, this is something I need. Because you also mentioned that a lot of people, they learn enough is how to implement it. So I want to implement things also. Yeah, I was waiting like, hey, how come this person haven't replied me? So after that, when you reply me, I believe my response was quite fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was also to follow up, which I thought was interesting, right? Like I always tell people that it was the most interesting and slightly uncomfortable sales call I had, just because it was like zero objections, right? Zero, no one like questions. It was like, do you have any questions? No. Yeah, which one we want? I'll sign up for this. Like it was a very like, for me it was the like, right? It was like just that easy, right? In a sense. But so I think when talking about it just sounded like it was a base of intuition, right?
Yes.
And that's something that I think a lot of us could do more of lah. So I thought it was an interesting experience. But
Yeah.
with that, right? So how's your experience at MI like, and maybe some of your biggest lessons about, like, say, marketing, sales, right? That you learned during the entire experience together with us.
So what MI helps me a lot is to structure out things, to systemize things. I think that is what I need help of. And then of course, Marc and your team response is very fast. So when I know I need something, right, then I just start to PM you all, and then you always have the answers for me. And then yeah, the answer, the idea, the opinion, advice is always what I need. So just a bit of that, right? Then I can know like, oh, I can do this really. And it helps a lot for me. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And I guess the other question, right, is, by the way, I realized you said reply fast because so we reply you slow because you weren't our client, right? They reply by the client, right? Anyway, right? So yeah, I guess with that, what are some of your like results or transformations, right? Both internal, external, right? That have taken place since joining MI, right? Hopefully, maybe to inspire some other folks out there as well.
I believe that what inspired me is the community, because MI has a lot of people, the members inside it are also working things in they are passionate of. So we're in like the same boat, like trying to live a better life and in the process of creating more in life, in our career and things like that. So we are not alone. And then you can see like each other's progress. And then there are different people in different industry that can help each other out as well. So that is one thing. And also I like that MI has a very big database of knowledge file. Yeah, your video recording a lot, right? So based on the topic that I need, I would just look for the file and video, and then I can just refer from that, learn from that, and think that helps me a lot, because what you give is like a practical procedure or practical steps. Like do this, then you get this, do this, then you get this. So I just follow the step and it was quite easy for me.
Nice.
productivity as well.
Yeah, I think then Joey, like the sales, the income, right, skyrocketed, right? From there, which I'm very happy about. I think the last time you spoke, pretty good amount, right? That's all the revenue generated. And before we go on to the last, right, the current phase of journey, right? I think yeah, some people out there might be listening and be like, hey, like Joey, I'm starting completely from scratch, right? Where my business, I don't know what to do, right? In my life, my career, my business. And yeah, I want to find a way out, right? And based on your experience you have over the years, right? Joining MI, before that, the programs, your transformations, what would be one or two biggest tips you would give to that group of people who want to find a way out from feeling stuck, lost, right? Or even starting from scratch?
So is it starting from scratch? The question is, they know what they want already or not? Have they decided what kind of career they want to branch into? If they haven't, you have to know who you are first, like, and then what you want is next. And then thirdly, why you are stuck, right? They definitely have a reason why you are stuck. One, you have to find the root cause why you are stuck. Once that thing plugged out, right, you literally have no choice but to move forward.
No choice but to move forward.
But yeah, it's always like that one. Because nothing hold you back already. Once you know the root cause of that stuck point, right? Once you remove that, the only way is forward already because no more stuck. But knowing yourself is very important. Like, why should I buy your service or product? What are you different from other people? If you're just same with other people, right? Then like no difference.
Yeah, right. And I think it's back to also what we talk, since you talk about Tony Robbins, the notes that started you knowing me in the first place, right? The biggest lesson I got is something I've heard like a lot of times, but I think it's back down to the what he mentioned, right? Which is success is 80% psychology, right? But percent skills, right? And in this case, finding out what do you really want every day, right? Identifying like what is that career or the business, the idea that you feel great and you feel aligned with, and then number three, addressing the root causes of procrastination, feeling stuck, feeling lost. And then, right, like you said, you have no excuse, right, but to move forward. Yeah, so I guess the last segment, right, just a very quick one, which is, okay, so you were doing pretty well there, right? Generated, I think, close to seven figures, right, during your entire time there, right? Why decide to quit your job in the first place, right? And what's moving forward for you?
Okay, so I was in a very intense training period for about 3.5 years. And then the founders was very good to me. They trained me every day consecutively in that 3.5 years. So up to a point, right, I'm very blessed that they gave me this opportunity and the license to operate on my own so that I can not only know how to be a good coach to other people, but I also need to learn how to be a good business owner. And the only way of doing that is to own my own business. So that's what I'm doing as well. Once again, maybe starting from scratch, how to own a business and then how to build a team again. And then, of course, our service and all the quality is always benchmarked against certain standard. Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is growth and evolution at the end of the day, because if you don't grow, right?
Then we die already.
Right. Like what Tony Robbins says as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think with that, right, I guess any final, I think it was a great interview, right? A lot of reflections, a lot of insights. I might even go to say that some of this might sound familiar to people, but the big question at the end of the day, right, is are you implementing it and what are you doing about it, right? But yeah, I guess with that said, right, any final words for our audience over here, right? Any final words, where is it inspiration, right? Any final words of advice or things that you feel that can really benefit most of the people out there who, hey, they might be receiving a lot of information, right? But they're not feeling, they're still feeling a bit stuck, right? Or not getting the kind of lives that they want. Any like final words for them before we end off?
First, I would like to encourage, don't be afraid of your own emotion because you have those emotions. It proves that you are still human and not AI and not robot. And then if you're feeling stuck and all right, ask for help because there's a way to make it not stuck one. And why you feel stuck or why you feel like you want to give up is because you have been trying maybe certain period of amount of time. You actually have been working hard on something, but you didn't get the result you want. That's why you have that give up feeling and that stuck feeling. And this is also a very good signal that ask for help for people to help you to overcome that. It may be just a technical issue that you need someone, or maybe if it's emotional issue or psychological issue, that is the part that we can help to reprogram you to overcome it. And then once you're done, right, you're good to go already. So don't be afraid of your own emotion. Everything can be overcome.
Wow, I like it. But yeah, I do feel that sometimes people are afraid, right? But yeah, I think sometimes with the right space, the right people to support you, right? I think that's when you can really like unlock it, address it, right? So you can finally move forward with life. Man. Yep. So with that, thanks Joey, right? For the, I think this is great, right? Anywhere, can you just share for the final time, like where can people find you, right? If they want to find out more about what you do, right? Can you just share a little bit before we end off this entire interview?
Well, if you want to find me, first you can find me from the MI community because I'm there actively. Another one is you can find me from my Facebook or Instagram using my full name, like Joey Heng.
Okay, yeah, we'll put a
Yeah.
link there and the channel itself. Okay, good. If not, thanks so much, Joey, right? I think this has been a great interview. I think a lot of things to think about, right? And for the rest of you guys, see you guys very soon for our next interview as well. Bye, guys, and thanks, Joey.
Thank you. Bye.